Good morning, Kindle Kids, and welcome to your Thursday, January 7th, which happens to be the anniversary of the very first election in the United States. And that happened way back in 1789 and actually took place in Pennsylvania, weirdly enough. Spoiler alert, George Washington won that election. But the really interesting thing was his competitor, John Adams, instead of just losing, ended up becoming the vice president. The way they ran it was the second place set of votes was our vice president. So that's how we ended up getting John Adams starting out as a vice. But another odd fact was that it was an odd year. And what I mean by that was it was actually an odd year. 1789 is the only presidential election in history that was held on an odd year. And then the last really fun fact about it was that our very first presidential residence was not the White House. It was, in fact, a mansion here. The mansion was the Samuel Osgood House on 3 Cherry Street in Manhattan, New York, which is pretty cool. So, New York State, we got even more bragging rights than a lot of other states that way. And then it ended up moving from there over to the General Alexander Macomb House, also in New York, and then finally moved over to the third presidential residence, the aptly named President's House in Philadelphia. It wasn't until John Adams actually took office that the White House became the presidential residence. So really interesting facts. And now that we've learned those patriotic facts, let's put our hands over our hearts, find the flag in the room, and please rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Okay, Kendall Kids, let's talk about food. Today we have a ham sandwich or popcorn chicken with soft pretzel, whipped potatoes, broccoli, mandarin oranges, and milk. Moving on to the weather, though. Well, guess what, guys? We're looking at much of the same. High of 32 today, a little tiny chance of peeking sun, but don't rely on it. It is primarily going to be what we've had before, which is quite the gray day. Not looking like much rain is going to be happening today, tomorrow, all the way through even into the weekend, but there is that lingering chance because the cloud cover will stick around and the possibility will remain. If it does come down, you can rely that it will likely be some level of freezing rain, sleet, or just wet snow, and then it will end up not sticking to the ground as the ground temperatures really are cold enough to support snowfall accumulating. Anyway, what does that mean for us? Well, that means that we actually have a little bit of playground time today. And you know what? I got good news. Coming up tomorrow, I've heard it on good authority that there is a strong chance of actually a little bit of sunlight peeking through the sky. So keep an eye out. You might actually see the sun again for the first time in quite a while. Anyways, let's finish off our announcements the right way with that Kendall mission statement. The mission of the Kendall Central School District is to provide the knowledge, skills, values, and attitudes needed by students to live responsibly and to compete successfully in today's and tomorrow's world. I hope you guys have a wonderful Thursday, and if I don't get a chance to see you, remember to stay colorful, Kendall.